Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. And yeah, I know that I haven't made a video for like 2.5 weeks now. I haven't done anything since my Unforgiven 2006 review, which I did in my last video. Yeah, sorry that I've been gone for like a couple of weeks, but yeah, it's just that I've had some stuff going on, and plus for basically the last week now, I have been getting over a cold. So yeah, so I just really have really had some personal stuff going on like that for the last 2.5 weeks. So yeah, so apologize that I haven't been active on here for a while, but yeah, it's just due to stuff like me getting over a cold and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, okay. So yeah, here I am for this video. Yeah, and what I figured I would do is since in my last video, in my Unforgiven 2006 review, one of the matches that I was on that show was the Hell in a Cell match with DX versus the McMahons and the Big Show. Yeah, like I have said a lot. Like I've been going through basically the Hell in a Cell matches, the pre Hell in a Cell pay per view Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah, and with me talking about that one, I was really about to say in uh that review that was that was the last hell pre Hell in a Cell pay per view Hell in a Cell match that I was yet to talk about. But yeah, I still do actually. I am not finished talking about the Hell in a Cell matches. Is a pre Hell in a Cell pay per view. Yeah, I still do have a couple of more that I haven't talked about yet. And those are, of course, the two Hell in a Cell matches that took place on Raw in 1998. So, yeah, so I figured I would make a couple of videos to just review those two Hell in a Cell matches and really just actually finish off the Hell in a Cell matches pre Hell in a Cell pay per view. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about those last two Hell in a Cell matches to really finish off the Hell in a Cell matches. All right. So yeah, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Hell in a Cell match with Stone Cold and the Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind. Yeah. So yeah, so this took place on the June 15th, 1998 episode of Raw. So yeah, so this was just a couple of weeks before King of the Ring that year. And yeah, during this time, of course, this was when Stone Cold and Undertaker were feuding with Kane and Mankind. Yeah, and of course, leading into King of the Ring, it had the two matches between them with Stone Cold and Kane in the first blood match for the WWF title, and Undertaker and Mankind in the Hell in a Cell match. So yeah, so it really was leading into the two big matches at the King of the Ring. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and at this time, Kane and Mankind really were getting the upper hands on Stone Cold and Undertaker during the time. The week before, this was when Kane actually did become number one contender to face Stone Cold at King of the Ring. Yeah, and yeah, and the week before, both Kane and Mankind were able to get Stone Cold into a casket and shut it. Yeah, so yeah, so they really were really getting the upper hand on Stone Cold and Undertaker during this time. Yeah, and at the beginning of this episode of Raw, like uh, Paul Bear, Undertaker, and Undertaker, sorry, Paul Bear, Kane, and Mankind issued a challenge to Stone Cold and Undertaker inside of the Hell in a Cell. Yeah, and this was of course just the second Hell in a Cell match in history. These two Raw Hell in a Cell matches in 1998. These two matches were included on the Hell in a Cell DVD that was released in 2008. So yeah, so these still were two early Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah, and like I said, this was just the second Hell in a Cell match in history. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so Yeah, Stone Cold and Undertaker did accept the challenge from Paul Bearer to face Kane and Mankind inside Hell in a Cell. Yeah, and so this match yeah, this happened like at the end of this episode of Raw. Kane and Mankind, just before this match had started, they did win that tag team Royal Rumble to earn the right to challenge for the tag team titles. Yeah, and then after they won it, it just went right into the Hell in a Cell match. Paul Bearer called for the main event to begin. Yeah, yeah. Then as the cell was being lowered down, then Stone Cold then came out. But then when the Undertaker's music hit, the Undertaker was nowhere to be seen. The Undertaker just was did not come out. Yeah, Undertaker's music actually did hit twice, and Undertaker just did not come out. Yeah, but then eventually both Kane and Mankind then went after Stone Cold, and they were fighting with Stone Cold on the outside of the cell. Yeah, and as Stone Cold was fighting with Kane and Mankind on the outside of the cell, Paul Bearer was still actually in the cell, and Paul Bearer ended up locking himself inside of the cell to try to barricade him to keep him um away from Stone Cold and Undertaker. But then as Paul Bearer then locked himself in the cell. Then it then showed that the Undertaker then just came up through the ring. Yeah, and then with Undertaker being locked in the cell with Paul Bearer, then of course Undertaker attacked Paul Bearer, and yeah, Undertaker was just really just beating the hell out of Paul Bearer. He was throwing Paul Bearer into the cell numerous times, and Paul Bearer became a bloody wreck. Yeah, and then as a Stone Cold was continuing to fight with Mankind, Kane climbed up to the top of the cell to try to find a way that he could break into the cell to help Paul Bear. But of course, Kane could not actually break into the cell. Yeah, and then as Kane was just on top of the cell, really trying to break in. Undertaker just continued to beat down Paul Bear as Undertaker, when as a Stone Cold was continuing to fight with Mankind. Yeah, then yeah, then yeah, then then Paul Bear, like I said, Paul Bear just ended up becoming a bloody wreck. Yeah, then eventually Stone Cold then uh eventually nailed Mankind with a steel chair. Yeah, then with Mankind down, then Stone Cold then climbed up to the top of the cell and went after Kane. So then uh, yeah, Stone Cold then was fighting with Kane on the top of the cell as Undertaker was continuing to beat down Paul Bear inside of the cell. Yeah, then Undertaker took the steel steps and nailed Paul Bearer with the steel steps. So Paul Bearer just took just a really bad beating from the Undertaker right here. Then Stone Cold, like I said, went up to the top of the cell and went after Kane, and then Stone Cold and Kane were just fighting on the top of the cell. And then this episode actually ended, and this episode of Raw went off the air with Kane and Stone Cold continuing to fight on top of the cell. Yeah, and it just went off the air during them fighting on top of the cell. But since then there's been some bonus footage that has been released of what happened after this episode went off the air. It's featured on this episode of Raw on Peacock. Uh, yeah, so it is included in some releases of this episode of Raw now. Yeah, and it showed with what continued. Eventually, Kane and Stone Cold as they were continuing to fight, they eventually climbed down from the cell, and then then eventually they were able to get the door open. It doesn't actually show how they did since Paul Bear locked the door from the inside, but yeah, eventually they did get it open, and then as Undertaker and Mankind were then fighting on top of the cell, eventually then Undertaker then went after Kane on the outside of the cell as Stone Cold went back in and fought with Mankind, and then Stone Cold then like ended up countering the mandible claw from Mankind, and then hit Mankind with the stunner, and then Stone Cold will then pin Mankind. So so Stone Cold and Undertaker were declared the winners of the match. Yeah. So so now with like this bonus footage, we actually do see how like it was actually like this match like actually did like it was like an official match, and Stone Cold Mankind ended up winning it. Like, if you just like saw it on TV, it really just did seem like a fight, and this match never did officially start. Yeah, and I didn't even actually like hear the bell ring for this match. So so I'm sure like people were kind of confused as to what happened here. Yeah, but Stone Cold like pinned Mankind. So so Stone Cold and Undertaker were declared the winners of the match. Yeah, so as far as like how this match goes, like I don't know. I mean, this really did seem more like just a brawl than a match. Like I said, like it didn't even seem like this match really did actually like officially start. Like it really just seemed like it was just a segment with Stone Cold and Undertaker like just fighting with Kane, Mankind, and Paul Bear. So so it really didn't even feel like a like an actual match. So yeah, so I really don't know really what to really say like as far as like a verdict for this goes because it really just seemed more like just a brawl than it did an actual match. So I'm not really too sure like what I would really like how I would what I would really say about this match in terms of actually like as far as like Hell in a Cell really goes. I really don't really this really doesn't really seem like a legitimate Hell in a Cell match. Like I said, it really just seemed more like a brawl. So I I can really understand like why like this really wouldn't be like a really like included in like the lineup of Hell in a Cell matches. Yeah, this one is probably like the easiest to really just pass by, but it was like included on this Hell in a Cell DVD, so so it I guess like it really is included as a Hell in a Cell match. So I really don't know what to really say. Like I guess like in terms of recommending this match, like it probably is nothing that really is like a it's not really like a must see since it really is just something to really just like advance like the storylines with like the Stone Cold and Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind feuds that like were going on during this time, and like I said, this would like lead to like the two big matches at the King of the Ring a couple weeks later with the First Blood match and the Hell in a Cell match. So I guess like it did serve its purpose in that role of really just kind of just advancing the storylines and just like progressing the feuds. So I guess it did like a serve its purpose for that. So I guess like this in the end, like this really did do its job. As far as giving it a rating goes, I really don't think it really does make sense to really give this a rating because like I said, it's not really much of a not really like much of a match. It's really just a brawl. So I don't really think it really does make sense to really give this match a rating. But yeah, when it comes down to it, like it's not a must see, and it is easy to really like forget about this match in the lineup of Hell in a Cell matches. But yeah, yeah. But the bottom line is like I think this match really did serve its purpose. So at least like it really did that. All right. So I really don't know like I said in terms of recommending it, it's not really a must see. But but if you really do like just see this match. Like you see the names in it. It's Stone Cold and Undertaker against Kane and Mankind. Like for the big stars from the Attitude Era. Like if you just like listen to that, if you want to give this match a, if you really do want to give this a watch, I mean, I guess you can. Like there's nothing about it that really is like really gonna make you feel like I think that you'll waste your time, especially like if you were a fan during this time. So it's not a must see, but I mean, if you want to check it out, go ahead. Like there's nothing in about this I really think is really going to waste your time, really. All right, so yeah, so I guess that's really the best way I can put it. All right, so yeah, so I know like this was really like kind of like a like sort of a different review, but yeah, there really wasn't really like a whole lot to really talk about with this match because yeah, it's really not really much of a match. It really is just a brawl and a segment. So but yeah, I just really, but I wanted to just talk about this a little bit, just to really like I said, just to finish off talking about the Hell in a Cell matches. So I really tried to do the best I could with this one. So hopefully it was okay for you guys. All right, so yeah, so I guess this is all I really can say about it. All right, so this is for my review of the Stone Cold and Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind Hell in a Cell match from the June 15th, 1998 episode of Raw. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about it. And stay tuned for the other Hell in a Cell match from Raw in 1998 that I'll talk about next time. All right, so yeah, I'll have a review for that one coming up next. But I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about this one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.